Welcome. Welcome everyone to the Circle of Love and Light with Phillip Mountrose. That's me, and a wonderful co-host today, Loola Mora, a fellow coach and healer. So we're cooperating today with the flow of life, and we're focusing on the monthly show of the month, namely October. And we're going to do an oracle reading, a meditation, some insights. It should be fun, enjoyable, insightful. And we tend to do this at the beginning of each month, right, Lula, where we now focus on a monthly reading to get us ready, ushering in the month and the energies that are attuned to it so we can be at our best. And I want to thank you for being here at the Circle of Love and Light, where we help people heal and grow and stand up as beacons of light each week. And it's nice to see people here with us. Lula, you want to say hello?
Hi, everyone. So nice to have you here and to be here actually, like tuning in the flow of the next month that is coming. So welcome everyone.
Great to be here with everyone.
Yeah.
And great to be here with you.
The same.
Yeah. So the topic, as I mentioned, is October and the seasonal changes and the interchanges, which is a lot of what has to do with October in the Northern Hemisphere. That's where we are. People in the Southern Hemisphere in spring, so things are somewhat different, inverted at times. But it is a time of change and transition. Leaves are falling, changing color, and that's all happening externally and internally. There's symbolic things going on. That means we are changing. Things are always changing, but it really becomes more evidently so when this change from the productivity and outdoor sunlight of summer activity to this more quieter, withdrawing inward time of fall in the fall equinox. And of course, the traditional cultures revered the seasons much more, and we're much more in tune with nature, and we'll talk a little more about that. That's a couple thoughts. I have quite a few more, but Lula, you want to chime in here?
Yes. Actually, I was thinking today morning when I woke up about how fast the year, has passed, and thinking about like my victories and what I have for intentions for the coming months, and specifically for October. And as you mentioned, it's like that moment when I can see clearly how I have changed, but how other like things I want to reach and overcome, like it's like, okay, we're going to the end of the year, it's like, okay, I think many people are already thinking, like, okay, maybe I haven't done this that I thought that I was going to, or no, and a lot of stress actually start coming up too. It's not only like the good stuff, because we have both sides, and I think that's the good thing here is like looking for that balance, because we are part of a system. We have a like timeline, and that timeline is like, okay, 3 months and the year is gonna end. So yeah, so having that like feelings and that sensations, I was thinking about mine, and I think like for October, I would love to be in a grateful mode, like having that like word with me. Other words that came to my mind today morning, as I said, were presence. I think sometimes I allow myself to be a lot in my mind, and I start like wondering, and sometimes it's not, more than sometimes it's not really helpful. So I want to be really present, and with that presence, being able to be grateful for all the things that I have like overcome and experienced this year. Has been a very intense year for me, and I can tell that I have been facing a lot of things and healing many things, that have helped me to see what I'm seeing today if I look back. So being present and being grateful are both of the words that I want to bring in this like new month in my life.
Yeah,
And
well said. I think being present and being grateful, it's always good advice, but this might be particularly timely. Just that we've been, many of us, more outward and enjoying the fruits of summer, shall we say, and now we're harvesting and going within,
exactly.
and being grateful and kind of looking within and cultivating trust in ourselves and solitude. And that's a word that isn't used very much, but I think it's quite an important one and very timely to October and the fall, where your deep, rich inner world is often just overlooked. It's like this whole activity is going on, and we want to start finding out what's going on in there. What is working, what is not working, like the leaves falling off. Maybe some things are just naturally changing. Maybe some things we need to rid ourselves of and let go, some bad habits or grievances. Maybe we need to do some healing, some nurturing on ourselves, parts that feel lonely or abandoned or like a failure. Maybe we need to help that part just like we would help a child who was ailing in our care. So there's going within, enjoying ourselves, that rich enjoyment of just being with ourselves. And then we learn to trust ourselves, which is a big thing. So when you can
Beautiful
be
said.
more with yourself, you can have a better sense of trust in what you know and what you don't know. And maybe there are times you do need to reach out to other people, and you can do that in a more timely and discerning way too. Right,
Abs-
Lula?
Absolutely. Yeah, actually listening to you, I was like, yes, of course. Like, is sometimes not nice, but when we do that part, I can tell that we can send that light that is needed to those places, and like seeing what you were saying, the leaves are falling. We're entering to that moment in the year that the light is less, we're gonna get like the sun earlier down. So we need like we are like a little bit forced to do that inner work and be with ourselves and to like observe ourselves, not only check, because it's observe that it comes from another place, you know but yeah, I start sensing in my personal way that fear that is coming when we have like those moments of the year, like, and that stress, that is coming, and that like important like time with family too, and a lot of things start happening in this like last part of the year. So yeah, I was thinking about it. You say it like there maybe we can heal something, or there is needed to be alone and like to center and integrate, but all of those things are sending light to parts of ourselves, so it's bringing that light all the time, but
Mm-hmm.
especially with compassion, and yeah, I'm so in tune with every word you said. I think it's a great invitation, for everyone to see things in that way, and with time, not only in December when you are in a rush. The year is going to end right now. So giving ourselves time to observe and to do that inner work. In my case, I have been doing it, and I think all of us, we are all the time doing inner work. But but yeah, I can imagine that now that is like more darkness in the environment, what I was saying, like
Mm-hmm.
the light is
Yeah.
going down earlier.
Yes.
I i have like my challenge getting in that flow a little bit, because I need a lot of light. But here, like in the last years, I have been breaking through that beliefs that I used to have, and actually embracing them and being excited about it, because it's easier. I'm from Colombia and we don't have seasons there, So here I have been learning how to enter in that flow, but my personal, fall, when it's like actually happening in the environment too, like being really synchronized. And if I'm not, it's okay too. That's the challenge. Understanding that if I'm not in the same like rhythm, because I can be in my summer and like we can be in the like winter maybe, like.
Yeah, and I like that idea of being in sync with the season and the months, and part of that might be the circadian rhythms, that there is more dark time and less sunlight. So you're going to probably change some of the schedules, maybe a little bit of waking up and going to sleep. So that does affect you and your sleep schedule, and maybe some of the food schedule too, depending on the climate there. One might have a little more heavier meals. And just in the harvest, there are foods that are seasonal, and there are different foods that are in the summer vegetables and summer foods and fruits, more fruits, and in the winter, less fruits and more root vegetables. So nature is telling us something about our world and what we're aligned to, which used to be natural and taken for granted. But with so many choices and technology and ways of sort of living outside the cycles of nature, which we seemingly can do, but we pay a price in our health and our well-being and our energy. I'm just thinking some people do have to, 20% of the country is in chronic pain, 40% has chronic diseases. So if we're struggling with physical things, that's affecting us, and that's calling us to be aware of certain things to deal with. And sometimes it's just living with it and making the best in a difficult situation. And sometimes it's calling us to find things that were out of balance, that we need healing, that need to be addressed. That's maybe what we're here to do, to find out some of these imbalances, these challenges, which we've had. Maybe they were started decades ago and are now just showing themselves. Maybe they started lifetimes ago and keep repeating themselves. So it's an opportunity, like we said, of going within, letting go as the leaves fall off the trees, nurturing, healing, taking some time, being more in solitude. Loola?
Beautiful map.
And how do you
Yes.
get in sync, by the way? You were saying getting in sync. I like that term.
Yeah, I observe nature, I think that's a great way, in my case, like personal way to get in tune, if you have a pet, they teach us a lot of things. If you are able to have walks and observe the birds, for example, they are migrating, and seeing how the leaves are going down, which other like flowers that were there when you were having a walk are not on no more longer there, so you see that change, and integrating that, and feeling part of the whole, and knowing that you are part of nature too, that helps me a lot, and surrendering, because that's when I start finding that balance between my mind, like I was supposed to have this done on October, or my mind, like with the planning and the controlling and all of that, and seeing that, okay, we don't have more light, and I'm willing like to chill and to reduce my energy, and like not fighting with that, and finding that moment of focus in my day. So that's the way I get in sync, observing and being present. I think that's the word that I choose for today, because of that, because helps me. If I'm present, I don't get in that like mindset of blaming myself, of wondering, of like fighting, because we can plan a lot, but our spirit and soul can be in a different sync too. So it's finding that balance, between my mind and my body all the time. And so observing nature is a huge of my like points to do
That's
to get
always
there.
great. I love nature is the key, the solution. It's what we need to work with. All this time working against it, Western culture with all its brilliance has undermined itself by not being with nature, fighting it and trying to dominate. So we're shifting. We need to shift in this existential crisis of great awakening so we can all not only survive, just first of all survive, but survive at a much more harmonious, soulful level than we currently do.
Absolutely.
So we are going to do a oracle reading for the October for today. And I'm going to do a meditation based on what we're going to find out in our oracle reading, which is about to occur here momentarily as I pull out a card. And
Excited.
so it's from the Angel Wisdom Tarot deck by Rodley Valentine, which we really much enjoy.
Nice.
And let me pull out this card. It's in the major arcana, those 22 major lessons, and how it relates to, in this case, October, which is, okay, interesting. The Dreamer, which is the 0 or 1 card, the beginning, the Fool on a journey. We're embarking on a journey. We're starting out on a new journey, which you could say is a new season in the case. So think about new beginnings in terms of going inside and exploring yourself in this solitude and reflection and healing and nurturing and being grateful that we've talked about with the Dreamer, the Fool, where everything is open, anything is possible, miracles are happening now. And before we embark on a meditation, Loola, any comments on the Dreamer card?
Oof, I think there's a lot coming to my heart and actually to my mind with the card. I'm going back to the words, presence and being grateful, for many things, like the Dreamer not only invites me to look forward to things, but actually to plan them, it's like, look how beautiful the card is showing us, how he is coming from an open door that is like the I can tell, like the galaxy, the universe, the stars, and then he's coming into a beautiful garden, there's the time actually there too, because we plan there. When you have dreams, you have like an impulse to do something. It's like that little light that starts like showing up. So when you are going through your dreams and following them, that kind of keeps expanding, and that's love actually, because it's the creation energy. So the Dreamer is inviting us to, as we said, like, okay, some leaves are falling, but that doesn't mean that we can keep following our dreams. It's part of the circle of gain. Like it's it's like a cycle, Gain there is a process. So it's beautiful to start a new moment, a new season, a new chapter with the Dreamer's vision. Is that little light bumping there that keeps you alive, that gives you inspiration. And if we leave things from that place, I think is more authentic, allows us to get to feel part of the wholeness that is our essence, and gives us that connection with our divinity. We are divine, we are divine beings. So that's a card that in my case is perfect for this new season.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. Yeah, it is timely. Yeah, that's a beautiful card. The more I reflect, like so many of the oracles, the more it makes sense and the more meaning seems to come up. And I'm seeing Barbara Clark there commenting the Dreamer is perfect for the season and for me personally.
Beautiful.
which is nice. Another endorsement, another synchronicity of our friend Barbara Dabbs Clark. And I'm sure it's hitting a lot of synchronous notes for everyone watching this now or in review. And that is the signal to go on a journey. I'm just going to take one of my my favorite meditations I developed called the Transformative Breath Meditation, and just insert the dreamer, the oracle we just did, into the card to kind of really sync it up, to use Lula's term, syncing as we're. So the idea of this meditation is breathing in energy and releasing what you don't need. And in this case, we're going to breathe in all the wonderful dreamer energy of new possibilities and reflection and nurturing and new ways of being with ourselves in solitude and loving ourselves, so that can nurture and grow and go out to the world. That's a little cliff note about the process we're about to experience together. And if you can close your eyes, that's always useful. So we'll go into a little brief relaxation trance. And you can, if you want, adjust to relax and close your eyes, and I'll count down, and that'll be a signal to relax a little more deeply. 5, letting go. Nice breaths through the nose, slowly release through the mouth. 4, letting go more, drifting like those leaves falling off the trees. 3, letting go more as waves of relaxation flow through your body. 2, that leaf just drifts lazily down off the tree onto the stream. 1, as you become more relaxed in your body, more in tune with yourself. Breathing in through the nose and exhaling slowly, releasing what you no longer need. And as you continue to relax a little more, breathing in comfortably, easily, exhaling, start to bring in the dreamer's energy, that energy of starting on a new journey inward, enjoying yourself more, trusting yourself more, breathing in more of that wonderful solitude, and exhaling, releasing anything you don't need. Breathing in again, more trust of yourself, and breathing out anything you don't need, any parts that can be dispelled. Again, breathing in more nurturing reflection, wonderment of who you are, an amazing being in the universe. Exhaling. And as you breathe in more of these wonderful, lofty, dreaming qualities of this new month, this new chapter in your life, breathing in more of the trust, breathing in more of the nurturing, breathing in more of the wonder and the solitude of who you are, in sync with the seasons, wonderfully aligned, part of the fabric of the universe, the seasons of the universe that you are a part of your nature and nature. And as you breathe in more trust and solitude and nurture and wonder, you can breathe that out to the world too, breathing out more trust, breathing out more wonder to the world, sharing it, breathing out more nurturing and caring, and letting your solitude turn into peace and grace and poise, so you can be more in the world but not of the world. So we're about ready to come back, knowing that we can use the dreamer's wonderful energy to help us usher in October and the fall, in sync with the cycles of the season. Coming back 1 on the count of 5, 2, ready to open your eyes. 3, getting a little more energy. 4, removing anything you don't want and remembering what you do. 5, opening your eyes, refreshed, grounded, back where you are, in sync with the season, with October, with the wonderful solitude, trust, compassion, and gratitude, and more, and wonder that you have garnered and spread into yourself and out to the world.
Yeah. What a great meditation. Thank you. Thank you, Philip.
You
Wow.
bet.
Very good. Yeah, I can tell that I was able to feel that presence. That was one of my intentions that I shared, and feels so good, you know. I feel whole. I feel connected. I really love that you mentioned many times the word trust in yourself. You say trust, and those, like, that word touched my heart because I sense that I have some, like, sometimes I struggle with it. You know, I have the tendency to plan a lot and to want to have control, and sometimes I blame myself because I didn't, like, feel that I did enough or something like that. And when I trust and I believe that things are in the correct rhythm and speed, and that I'm doing my best, feels completely different. Feels completely different. So thanks for that reminder. And I really got it, you know. I really got it. I integrated that, and being present and trusting, and knowing that going inside and being with myself will be the great thing to do right now. You know, it's always, I think, but I feel the invitation, you know, from the season, and I can feel how I really turn in sync with the season, thanks to the meditation. So thank you.
Great.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad that was helpful for you. And the Dreamer card also, this is an Angel Wisdom deck, tarot deck, and it associates with Metatron, who means a lot to Jane and myself as guides. And I'll just get a message from Metatron now to help us get toward the close of our circle today. You all here in love and light, although sometimes you do forget that, but we're here to remind you that that's who you truly are. And the conflict and war and hatred that is so prevalent is just a forgetting of your true nature. And as you awaken to your true nature, love and light and healing and connection, and that true nature, who you truly are, will spread throughout your own being, your own cells, and to others and to the world. And it is something that it can tip the scales to more loving world, a new earth, a new way of being in the world, where we don't have to fight and divide. We can just use our differences to enrich each other rather than be a challenge. It can be a solution, actually. Our differences can become a solution, not the challenge that they sometimes are unnecessarily. So with much love, Metatron says, we are always here with you. Be your best. You are love. We love you. Thank you, Metatron.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Philip, for being the bridge for that message. And I perceive him, that his presence. I was surrounded with white light, and I felt him. And yeah, I actually feel him as a male energy too. Yeah, like him. And yeah, actually lately I have been really connected with him too. So I'm really honored that he was wanting to share with all of us that beautiful message, and gives us like the, whew, you know, that like nourishment and support.
Yes, it seems the angels are there all the time, sort of behind the scenes, but we can invite them more actively into our life if we ask them to do so. And they're tremendously enriching and supportive and wise to help us on our journeys.
And that's so beautiful that you mention it again, and is that they only show up, or they only appear when we ask for them to do it. You know, if They have been all the time there, but they're so respectful, and we are the ones who choose if we want to receive that
Right.
support, and in my experience, um it's like they are always there, and they have their own ways to to let them see them and to perceive them. So it's another invitation. It's like if you really want to connect, you only need to sit down, close your eyes, and get like relax, and ask for support. If you And they will show up, you
They
know
certainly will.
absolutely. You
In
will
a
feel
in
something,
a
you will
split
smell
second,
something.
a
Yeah,
twinkling of the eye. Hmm.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
wonderful. It is great.
And I think like now that you mention it, and that we like actually did that beautiful meditation, other thing that I have been experiencing, like working with angels and archangels, are that everything is sending you to self-love. Everything starts from there. And now that we talk about the inner work, or going inside and being in solitude and all of that, I think there's another like thing that people can do too, and that also we're being invited to,
Right.
nature, and
Yeah. If we
asking
pay
for
attention.
yeah. So it's like everything is like getting, bold there, like
Mhm.
how many like messages are there, like we're entering into a new season. We have the dreamer card. Now we have that beautiful message from Metatron, and those like tips that we are sharing, I think will give us a lot of tools, to enter and in that exploration, because I think that's the word. We are exploring all the time. So when we are like in that exploration, we will find other little or big things, that are coming to that like a recipe, for these months that are like coming. I think in the exploration we find ways, our unique ways, and that's other beautiful things. Not We can reach or like use tools, but the experience is unique, so you can find little other things that work for you. So that's what I'm getting through all the like things that I'm like receiving, and messages that I'm receiving, that it will be nice to share. Sometimes we get really in the not easy way. We make things difficult, and they can be easier. You don't need to
Yes,
make them.
that's a good mantra. How can it be? I'm making things easier. I'm finding ways for things to be easier. And in closing here, maybe a really good metaphor is the dawn of a sunrise. We're in a period where at first, like, and remind me of what you were saying, Lula, at first it's not so clear, but you're getting a little sense that something's changing, like if you've ever been around before pre-dawn, and then suddenly it gets a little lighter and you're starting to see a little more, and it just a peak of light, and then the light gets a little brighter, and then things get brighter and brighter, and finally the sun starts coming up, and there's this huge ball of light radiating everywhere, and now we can really see
Mm,
clearly, and we're inspired, and it's beautiful, and we know we're connected with everything, and that's the great awakening for us now
absolutely.
personally and collectively, and hopefully we're all going into that wonderful dawn of a new
Mm,
age and a new earth and a new way of being.
please let things be that way. Beautiful.
Great. So we enjoyed being here with you, and those listening and sharing and connecting with us, and you can find out more about things that we're doing at Awakenings Institute. Jane Mountrose, my partner, who usually leads the circle here on Sundays, we have a little free spiritual kit where we have part of our new book, Excerpted, The Loving Power of Your Soul, a holistic EFT video, and other resources. And you can find it at tinyurl.com/spiritual-kit, tinyurl.com/spiritual-kit. And there's something else I wanted to share with you, but I also wanted to, Loola, have you let people know how to find you too.
Thank you, Philip. Yeah, people can connect with me through social media. I appear as Loola, Loola, Mora, Mora. And I have my webpage, the same, like loolamora.com. And for people that want to practice Spanish or are Spanish speakers, I have my YouTube channel that is Loola Mora, Bienestar y Transformación. That means transformational wellness. So I would love to connect with you.
Yes, and Loola is a great person to connect with. And if you relate well to her, I think you'll really enjoy following up with her. And we have a holistic coaching and healing certification program where we actually first had the good fortune of meeting Loola, who took that program way back when. And that's coming up October 11th here. And there's a tiny URL, a shortened URL to find that one. And you can find that at tinyurl.com/HOL coach. We've been happy to be here with you. Feel free to like this page and share the video at Awakening Circle of Light and Love. And we have a new book, The Solution, that Jane and I wrote, especially Jane, about spreading the message of love. It's at getthesolution.org, getthesolution.org. And we enjoy being with you each week, and we look forward to the next time. Thanks a lot, Loola.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you, everyone.